I never thought I'd see my brother's face on a billboard again, not after what he did to me. But there it was, towering over the Hollywood freeway like a goddamn monument to betrayal. Alan's chiseled jaw, that trademark smirk, eyes sparkling under the glare of studio lights, promoting his latest rom-com, where he played the charming bad boy who gets the girl, or the guy, depending on the cut. The tagline screamed, "Love doesn't rewrite the rules, it breaks them." Ironic, coming from the man who'd shattered every promise we'd ever made. My hands gripped the steering wheel tighter as I merged onto the I-5 northbound, the California sun baking my skin through the cracked windshield of my beat-up Ford pickup. One wrong turn 10 years ago, and I'd gone from sharing a womb with a twin to sharing a lifetime of his shadow. The call had come at 2 a.m., my phone buzzing like a hornet on the nightstand in my shitty motel room off Sunset Boulevard. "Leo? It's Mom. Alan's coming home for the reunion. The whole family's expecting you to." Her voice cracked on the last word, the kind of fracture that comes from years of pretending everything's fine in Willow Creek, our podunk hometown in upstate New York where the biggest scandal is the annual bake sale embezzlement. I hadn't set foot there since the night I left, 17 and furious, backpack slung over my shoulder, hitchhiking my way west with nothing but a wad of crumpled 20s and a heart full of fool's gold. Alan had stayed, or so I thought, climbed the ladder to fame while I clawed through dive bars and dead-end gigs, chasing echoes of what we'd lost. By the time I crossed the George Washington Bridge, the skyline of Manhattan fading in my rear view, regret tasted like stale coffee. What was I doing? Crawling back to face the ghosts? But Alan's return cracked something open in me, a wound I'd cauterized with bourbon and bad decisions. We were identical twins, mirror images down to the freckle on our left collarbones, born to a family that prized perfection like it was the only currency that mattered. Dad, the high school football coach turned car salesman, always said, "You boys are my legacy. Don't you dare tarnish it." Mom baked apple pies for the church ladies and whispered prayers for our souls when she thought we weren't listening. And us? We were the golden duo, Alan the charmer, Leo the quiet fire, until the fire burned us both. Pulling into Willow Creek at dusk, the town looked smaller, meaner, like a faded Polaroid of the place I'd fled. Main Street's neon diner sign flickered, "Eat," in half-hearted invitation, and the old oak where we'd carved our initials still stood sentinel by the creek. I killed the engine outside the family home, a two-story colonial with peeling blue paint and a porch swing that creaked like accusations. The lights were on, warm and yellow, spilling onto the lawn like spilled secrets. I sat there, engine ticking cool, until the front door swung open and Mom rushed out, arms wide, her floral apron dusted with flour. "Leo? Oh, my boy, you're home." She enveloped me in hugs that smelled of vanilla and vanilla extract, her eyes scanning my face for the brother she half expected to see. Inside, the kitchen hummed with the chaos of reunion prep. Aunts clucking over potato salad, uncles nursing beers from the cooler Dad kept in the garage. No one mentioned the elephant or the billboard-sized ghost in the room. Alan was due tomorrow, flying in from LA on a private jet, his publicist probably scripting his every humble anecdote. I nodded through small talk, forcing smiles that felt like rusted hinges. "How's the music scene out west, Leo?" Cousin Jenny asked, her eyes pitying. "Still gigging." I muttered something about bar bands and songwriting, but the truth lodged in my throat like a bad chord. I'd been waitressing tables at a vegan joint in Silver Lake to pay rent, my guitar gathering dust under the bed. That night, I crashed in my old room. Twin beds pushed together like they used to be, posters of Nirvana and The Cure yellowed on the walls. Sleep came in fits, haunted by dreams of Alan's laugh echoing across a beach we'd never seen, his hand brushing mine in the dark. We were 12 when it started, that unspoken pull, two halves of a whole fumbling towards something society called sin. In Willow Creek, being gay wasn't just taboo. It was treason against the American dream Dad preached every Thanksgiving. So we hid it, buried it under football practices and church youth group, stealing moments in the barn loft where hay bales muffled our whispers. "We're stars, Leo," he'd say, tracing constellations on my palm. "Someday, we'll shine so bright they can't look away." Dawn broke with rain pattering the window, and I woke to the rumble of tires on gravel. Peeking through the curtains, I saw the black SUV pull up, tinted windows hiding the man inside until the door opened. There he was, Alan, stepping out like he'd never left, designer jeans hugging his legs, a leather jacket slung over one shoulder, aviators perched on his nose despite the gray sky. Cameras weren't far behind. Paparazzi who'd tailed him from the airport, snapping shots as he waved to the neighbors peeking from behind lace curtains. Mom squealed from the kitchen. Dad clapped him on the back like a prodigal son. I stayed upstairs, heart pounding, until Jenny hollered, "Leo's here too." Descending the stairs felt like walking the plank. Alan turned, and for a split second, our face, crumbled. Then the mask snapped back. Megawatt smile, arms open for a bear hug. Little bro, God, it's been forever. His cologne was expensive, spicy, nothing like the Irish spring soap of our youth. Up close, the differences screamed. His skin bronzed from Malibu sun, faint lines from Botox and box office pressure, a tattoo peeking from his cuff. A phoenix, inked the night he came out on Ellen, the clip that made him an icon and me a footnote. We pulled apart, and his eyes searched mine, a flicker of something raw, guilt, fear. "You look good, man. Still got that brooding artist vibe." The family swarmed, toasting with mimosas, but I excused myself to the backyard, needing air that didn't reek of pretense. The rain had stopped, leaving puddles that mirrored the overcast sky. I lit a cigarette, bad habit picked up in dive bars, and stared at the swing set where we'd plotted our escape. Footsteps crunched behind me. "Can't smoke those in LA anymore," Alan said, leaning against the fence. "Too many influencers watching." I exhaled smoke like a challenge. Must be tough, being perfect. The words hung sharp, slicing the nostalgia. He winced, running a hand through his hair, same cowlick as mine. "Leo, about that night." But Dad bellowed from the door. "Boys, breakfast." And the moment shattered, leaving shards we'd sweep under the rug for another day. The reunion kicked off that afternoon at the community center, a brick eyesore decked out in red, white, and blue bunting for the 4th of July echo, even though it was June. Tables groaned under casseroles and Jell-O molds, the air thick with fried chicken and forced cheer. Alan held court like a king, signing napkins for wide-eyed teens, regaling the crowd with tales of red carpets and Queer Eye cameos. "Willow Creek made me who I am," he said into a mic at the talent show kickoff, his voice smooth as aged whiskey. "Roots run deep, folks. They ground you." The applause thundered, and I stood at the back, arms crossed, feeling like the weed in his garden. That's when I saw him, across the gym, nursing a solo cup by the punch bowl. Ethan Hale, town mechanic, broad shoulders straining a flannel shirt, dark hair cropped short, a 5 o'clock shadow that begged for fingers. He'd been a year ahead of us in school, the quiet type who fixed engines and avoided drama. Our eyes locked, and something electric zipped through me, like static from a wool blanket. He nodded, a half-smile tugging his lips, and I found myself weaving through aunts and uncles toward him. "Leo Whitaker?" As I live and breathe. His voice was gravel and honey, Midwestern drawl softened by New York winters. Up close, his eyes were hazel, flecked with gold. "Heard you were out Hollywood way. Chasing the dream." Something like that. I shrugged, heat creeping up my neck. "More like dodging the nightmare. You still wrenching on Fords." He chuckled, low and warm. "Every damn day. Keeps the bills paid and the hands dirty. Unlike your brother, guy's got the world at his feet." There was no bitterness, just fact, but it stung anyway. We talked easy then, about carburetors and chord progressions, the kind of conversation that flows like creek water. Ethan had stayed, built a life here. Garage on Elm Street, a stray dog named Rusty, volunteer shifts at the firehouse. No fanfare, no spotlights. As the band struck up an off-key Sweet Caroline, he leaned in. "Dance. For old time's sake? Never saw you at prom." I hesitated. Old habits die hard in a town that still whispered about that phase kids go through, but his hand was steady, callous palm open. "What the hell?" I said, and let him pull me onto the floor. We swayed awkward at first, bodies remembering rhythms we'd never shared, his breath warm on my temple. For a minute, the room blurred. No Alan, no family stares, just Ethan's thumb tracing circles on my back, a promise unspoken. Alan found us later, clapping Ethan on the shoulder like we'd all been best buds forever. Hail, keeping my brother out of trouble. His grin was all teeth, but his eyes, those mirrors of mine, darkened when Ethan stepped back, excusing himself for a beer run. Careful, Leo, Alan murmured once we were alone. Small towns chew up dreamers, says the guy who left me to rot. The words escaped before I could reel them in, venom from a decade-old bite. His face paled, and he glanced around, voice dropping. It wasn't like that. I had to. Save it for your memoir. I walked away, pulse hammering, the music mocking me with its joy. That night, back at the house, the family crashed early, jet lag and potato salad doing their work. I slipped out to the creek, bottle of Dad's bourbon in hand, needing the rush of water to drown the noise in my head. Moonlight silvered the banks, fireflies winking like faulty stars. Footsteps again, Ethan, hands in pockets, silhouette cutting the dark. Saw you bail. Everything okay? I offered the bottle, and he took a swig, settling beside me on the damp grass. We didn't talk about Alan or the past. Instead, stories spilled. His divorce 2 years back, her leaving for the city lights, my string of heartbreaks, nameless faces in crowded clubs. You ever feel like you're living someone else's script? I asked, staring at the ripples. All the time. His shoulder brushed mine, solid, real. But tonight? Feels like we're writing our own page. When his lips found mine, it was tentative, tasting of bourbon and possibility. A kiss that bloomed slow, like dawn over the Adirondacks. No rush, no demands. Just two men finding harbor in the storm. We broke apart breathless, foreheads touching, and I whispered, "Stay." He did, until the sky lightened, our fingers laced like they'd always belonged. But secrets have a way of surfacing, and mine was a tidal wave waiting to crash. The next morning hit like a hangover without the fun. Coffee bitter on my tongue, Mom's pancakes leaden in my gut. Alan was already up, scrolling his phone at the kitchen table, thumbs flying over responses to what I assumed were A-list DMs. He glanced up as I shuffled in, his expression unreadable, part brother, part stranger. Rough night. A smirk played at his lips, but it didn't reach his eyes. Slept like a baby. I lied, pouring cereal to avoid his gaze. Truth was, Ethan's scent lingered on my shirt, a ghost that made my chest ache with something dangerously close to hope. We'd parted at dawn with a promise to meet again. No labels, no pressures, just tomorrow whispered against skin. In Willow Creek, that was revolutionary. Dad burst in then, newspaper underarm, crowing about Alan's latest variety profile. Twins in the spotlight, from small-town roots to silver screen. The irony burned. There was no mention of me, the other twin who'd ghosted after high school. The one who'd tanked a scholarship to Berkeley because stage fright and a bar fight left me blacklisted from every decent venue in LA. Alan skimmed the article, chuckling. They got the barn story wrong. We didn't build that fort. We burned it down. Laughter rippled, but mine stuck. That fort, our childhood hideout in the woods behind the house, was where we'd confessed everything. The crushes on boys from the swim team, the terror of Dad finding the dog-eared copy of Giovanni's room under my mattress. We'd sworn an oath there, blood-pricked fingers pressed together. Together forever, stars against the dark. Then, senior year, Alan got scouted at a regional theater festival, whisked to Juilliard on a full ride. I stayed, holding the fort alone, until the night he called from Manhattan, voice slurred with champagne. "Leo, they're offering me the pilot. But, there's a guy, and I can't." He didn't finish. I hung up, packed a bag, and vanished west, chasing the twin who'd left me in the ashes. Turns out, Alan's guy was the producer's son, a stepping stone to closets cracked open and magazine covers. Me? I drowned in anonymity, gigs drying up when whispers of unreliable followed me from club to club. Earth to Leo. Alan's foot nudged mine under the table. "Family picnic today? You in?" I nodded, because what else could I do? The picnic sprawled across Haskins Park, blankets dotting the grass like colorful bruises, kids shrieking on swings while grills smoked with burgers and brats. Ethan was there, tossing a frisbee with the firehouse crew, his laugh carrying on the breeze. Our eyes met across the field, a secret smile exchanged, and I felt seen, not as Alan's shadow, but as Leo, flawed and fighting. He wandered over during dessert, balancing plates of watermelon and pie. Brought reinforcements. We sat on the fringes, knees brushing, talking low about everything and nothing. The best dive bars in town, still O'Malley's, with its sticky floors. The meteor shower we'd watch as kids. Remember the one that streaked right over the creek? He said, slicing rind with a pocket knife. Made a wish for adventure. Mine was for escape. The word slipped out, heavy. He paused, knife still, then covered my hand with his. Sometimes staying is the real adventure. Alan's voice cut through the chatter then, mic in hand for an impromptu Q&A. Ask me anything, Willow Creek. Except about my skincare routine, that's classified. Giggles erupted, questions flying. What's co-starring with DiCaprio like? Any truth to the tabloid flings? He fielded them with charm, turning the park into his personal stage. But when Jenny piped up, Alan, what about Leo? You two were inseparable. What's his story now? The air thickened. He faltered, just a beat, then recovered with a grin. Leo's the real talent. Writes songs that could break hearts. Give him a guitar, and you'll see. Applause polite but probing, eyes swiveling to me like I'd materialize a hit single on the spot. I forced a wave, while rising. Liar, I thought. You know why I can't play anymore. Later, as the sun dipped, Ethan and I stole away to his truck, parked under the willows. The cab smelled of oil and pine air freshener, radio humming soft country. Garth Brooks, because irony. We kissed again, deeper this time, hands mapping shoulders and jaws, breaths sinking like a slow ballad. This feels right, he murmured against my neck, and God, it did. For the first time in years, I wasn't performing, I was present. But presence invites intrusion. Headlights swept the lot, Alan's SUV, pulling up uninvited. He hopped out, feigning casual. Hey, thought I'd catch you for a drive. Catch up proper. His eyes flicked to Ethan, then away, jaw tight. Ethan stiffened, pulling back. Rain check? He said to me, voice even, but the damage was done, Alan's shadow eclipsing our light. We drove in silence at first, windows down, wind whipping through like accusations. The road twisted toward the old quarry, a spot we'd raced bikes to as kids, tires skidding on gravel. What's your deal, Alan? I finally snapped, as he killed the engine overlooking the flooded pit, water black as ink below. Showing up like you give a damn? After you bailed. He turned, face illuminated by dashboard glow, vulnerability cracking the facade. I didn't bail, Leo. I saved us. The words detonated, and the story poured out. That night on the phone, not champagne but tears. The producer's son wasn't a fling, it was leverage, a forced coming out to secure the role. But the real bomb? Alan had begged me to join him in New York, tickets bought, apartment scouted. When I hung up, he thought I'd chosen to stay. Punish him for chasing dreams. I waited a month, man. Called every bus station from here to LA. Then the tabloids hit. Twin vanishes after fight. I figured you'd ghosted for good. Bullshit. I'd never gotten the message. My phone smashed in a rage-fueled hike into the hills, service spotty. You let them print that? Made me the villain in your origin story? To protect you. His voice broke, hands gripping the wheel white-knuckled. Dad was raging, Mom crying. I spun it as sibling rivalry. Said you were off, finding yourself. If they'd known the truth about us, the fort, the kisses, it would have destroyed them. Destroyed you. Us. The word hung, a ghost from the barn loft. We'd never named it. That tangle of brotherly love and forbidden want, but it had shaped us, scarred us. You came out anyway, I said, quieter. Phoenix rising, while I burned. He deflated, head against the seat. Every award speech, every interview, I name-drop you. My twin, my muse. But the PR team, they edited out. Too messy for the brand. A laugh, bitter. I'm a star, Leo. Stars don't have shame, they have stylists. We sat there till stars pricked the sky, the quarry whispering regrets. Forgiveness felt miles away, but understanding? That cracked the door. I'm sorry, he said finally. For the silence. For letting you think you were alone. I nodded, throat tight. Me too. For running. Back home. The house dark. I texted Ethan. Tomorrow. Dock by the lake. 7 p.m. A date. Real and reckless. Hope flickered, fragile as firefly light. But Willow Creek doesn't do hope without a hurricane. The week blurred into a rhythm. Mornings dodging family barbs, afternoons tinkering at Ethan's garage, handing tools, stealing kisses behind the lift. He taught me to change oil, patient with my fumbles. I strummed chords on his battered acoustic, voice rusty but reviving. "You've got soul, Leo," he'd say, eyes soft. "That's rarer than talent." Alan kept his distance, buried in interviews and autographs, but his glances lingered, wary, watchful. Then the storm broke Thursday, gale-force winds ripping leaves from trees, power flickering like bad karma. Confined to the house, cards and gossip filling the air, Ginny dropped the bomb over Monopoly money. Saw online, Alan's ex is spilling tea. Says he ghosted after the premiere party. Dramatic, huh? Alan's fork clattered. Old news. We were kids. But his laugh rang false, and I caught the subtext. Not the producer's son, but someone closer. Me? No, the tabloid I'd ignored for years, buried under my own wreckage. That night, rain lashing windows, Alan cornered me in the hallway. "Don't read it, Leo. Please." His whisper was plea, eyes wild. "It's poison." Too late. In the bathroom, door locked, I pulled up the archive on my phone. Star's secret twin shame. Alan Whitaker's abandoned brother in drugs, drama scandal. Lies woven with half-truths. My vanished act painted as addiction-fueled meltdown. Alan the hero who tried to save him. Quotes from family sources, Dad, decrying my lifestyle choices, implying the worst without saying it outright. The kicker, a blurry photo of us at 16, arms slung casual, caption, "Too close for comfort?" Rage boiled, hot and holy. I burst into his room, article glaring on my screen. "You let them print this? Made me the family junkie to polish your halo." He bolted up, face ashen. I fought it. Lawyers, NDAs. The studio buried the real story to protect you. Protect me? Or your queer twin narrative? The accusation landed like a slap, our shared blood turning toxic. You profited off my pain, Alan. Every coming out speech, every ally award, built on my back. Tears streaked his cheeks, unscripted. I was scared. 17, alone in the city, and Dad's on the line. Fix this, or you're both cut off. I chose survival. For both of us. Survival. The word echoed, a chasm. I stormed out into the storm, boots splashing puddles, thunder rumbling my fury. The lake road was mud-slick, wipers slapping futile against the deluge. Ethan's text lit my phone. "Where are you? Talk to me." But trust fractured, and I couldn't drag him into the debris. I ended up at the quarry again, rain soaking through, screaming into the void until my voice gave out. Alan found me there, umbrella in hand, soaked anyway. "Leo, please." He dropped to his knees in the mud, the star reduced to supplicant. "I never stopped loving you. As brother, as everything. That's why I came back. To fix it." The confession hung, raw and ruined. Love, twisted by secrets, had warped us into enemies. Too late, I choked. "You've got your spotlight. Leave me mine." He left at dawn, SUV vanishing like smoke, a note on the kitchen table, "Forgive me. Or don't. But know you're the star I orbit." Mom wept quietly. Dad grunted disapproval. Me? I packed again, heart heavier than before. Ethan waited at the dock that evening, sky clearing to bruised purple. Heard about the blow-up. No judgment, just arms open. We sat, feet dangling over water, his head on my shoulder, the romantic anchor in chaos. "I'm poison, Ethan. Run while you can." He turned, eyes fierce. "Nah, we're both a little broken. Makes the mending sweeter." His kiss sealed it, salt and storm, a vow against the dark. But mending invites more fractures, and the deepest cut was yet to come. The days post-Allen stretched like taffy, sticky, endless, pulling me deeper into Willow Creek's reluctant embrace. Work at the garage became routine, grease under nails, Ethan's easy banter a bomb. We'd steal lunches at the diner, booths sticky with syrup history, trading stories of near misses. His almost moved to Albany for a chain shop job, my botched audition for a backup singer gig that ended in a producer's hotel key slide, declined, with middle finger raised. "You're steel, Leo," he'd say, lacing fingers across Formica. Bent, not broken. It felt true, in those moments, his hazel gaze stripping the armor I'd forged in LA's underbelly. Mom noticed, of course. Her sidelong glances at dinner, the extra slice of pie when Ethan dropped me off. Good man, that Hale boy, she'd murmur, washing dishes while Dad pretended not to hear, flipping channels to ESPN. The town buzzed too. Whispers at the post office, nods at the gas pump. In a place where gays still evoked rainbows on pride flags, but not hand-holding at the fair, our quiet courtship was controversy wrapped in camouflage. No parades, just parked trucks under starlight. Make-out sessions interrupted by deer in headlights. Alan's absence echoed, though, a void filled with unanswered texts. Miss you, bro call when ready, and tabloid echoes on Jenny's Facebook feed. I blocked the noise, focusing on the now. Tuning Ethan's old Chevy, pinning lyrics on napkins about docks and dawns. One night, fireflies dancing like errant thoughts, I played him the chorus. We chase the light, but shadows tag along / twin flames flicker, but one burns too strong. His applause was wolf whistle loud, pulling me into a slow dance on the garage concrete, body swaying to an imaginary waltz. You're writing again, he said, breath warm on my ear. That's magic. Magic. The word conjured Alan's phoenix tattoo, his rise from our shared ashes. Jealousy nipped, unbidden. Why him, the golden twin, and not me? But Ethan's hand on my waist grounded it. A reminder, stars fall, mechanics mend. Then the letter came, slipped under the door like contraband. Thick cream envelope, Alan's agent's return address. Inside, a check, 5 figures, scrawled note, for the music. No strings. Let me help. Rage flared, hot as a backfired engine. I tore it up, confetti raining on the porch, and drove to Ethan's, needing anchor. He listened, arms around me on the couch, his cabin smelling of sawdust and soup. Burn it, frame it, cash it, your call. But don't let him steal your peace. Peace. Elusive as a clear night in LA smog. That weekend, the town fair rolled in, carnival lights strung like promises, air thick with cotton candy and diesel. Ethan won me a stuffed bear at the ring toss, its glass eyes comically fierce. I bought him a corn dog, mustard dripping like tear tracks. We wandered midway, shoulders bumping, ignoring the stares from old classmates who'd friend Alan on Insta, but eyed me like yesterday's news. The breaking point hit at the demolition derby, rusted cars slamming in the dirt arena, cheers roaring like judgment. Dad clapped Alan's shoulder, phantom, absent, muttering, Your brother's got the spotlight now, but you? You were the fighter. Pride swelled, unexpected, but soured when cousin Mark sidled up, beer breath hot. Heard Alan's back east for a movie. Filming in the city, some queer drama. Bet Leo's jealous, huh? Always the also ran. Ethan's arm tensed around me, but I waved him off, turning on Mark with steel. Jealous? Nah. Alan's the one chasing ghosts. Me? I'm building something real. The words rang true, a gauntlet thrown, but Mark's laugh grated. Real? Like playing house with the town queer? Careful, Whitaker, folks talk. The slur landed like a bumper car crash, echoing uglier truths. Ethan froze, then shoved past, vanishing into the crowd. I chased, heart slamming, finding him by the Ferris wheel, face stormy. Ethan, he's an asshole. I know. His voice cracked, hands fisting jacket pockets. But it's not just talk, Leo. My ex. She left because of this. The whispers, the jobs lost when clients find out. And now you, dragging me into your twin tornado. My tornado? Shock iced my veins. I didn't ask for any of it. Alan's mess, the stairs, I'm just trying to be. He deflated, rain starting to spit from thunderheads. And I want that. With you. But fear's a hell of a thing. Gimme space. He walked away, leaving me under the wheel's lazy spin, lights blurring through tears. Home was a minefield. Mom's worried eyes, Dad's grunted rough night. I holed up, guitar in lap, strumming fury into minor keys. The song poured out, shame's a chain, but love's the key / twins in the dark, setting free. Raw, unpolished, a catharsis that left me hollow. Dawn brought resolve. Face the fractures, or flee again. I drove to Ethan's at sunrise, gravel crunching resolve. He was under a hood, wrench in hand, but straightened at my approach. Leo, wait. I thrust the scribbled lyrics at him, voice steady. Read this, then decide. He scanned, brow furrowing, then met my eyes, gold flecks softening. It's us. Messy real. A pause, wrench clattering to concrete. I'm in. But we fight fair, no running. The kiss that followed was fierce, rain-slick and redemptive, sealing our pact under gray skies. But Alan's orbit pulled harder than gravity. Midweek, my phone rang. Unknown LA number. Leo Whitaker? This is Rebecca Klein, Alan's manager. He's in the hospital. Overdose scare. Asking for you. The world tilted, Corey Black. Alan, invincible Alan, brought low by pills and pressure? I booked the red eye, Ethan driving me to the airport, his goodbye kiss lingering like lifeline. Go heal your twin. I'll be here. JFK to LAX was a blur of turbulence mirroring my gut. The hospital reeked of antiseptic and regret, corridors echoing like empty sound stages. Alan's room was dim, monitors beeping soft dirge. He looked small, tubes snaking arms, that phoenix tattoo mocking from his wrist, risen, only to crash. Leo, his voice rasped, eyes fluttering open, mirrors cracked. You came. Family right. Bitterness edged, but I sat, taking his hand, freckle-matched. The story tumbled. The movie gig in the city, a queer drama, about twins torn by secrets. Meta, he'd joked. Pressure mounted, studio notes rewriting his arc as tragic, not triumphant. Exes surfacing with NDAs breached. The check to me? Guilt money from residuals he'd funneled my way anonymously for years. Why not tell me? I whispered, thumb tracing his knuckles. Fear of dragging you back into the shame. Tears leaked. But you're right, we're halves. Can't shine without the other. Confession cracked us open. The fort wasn't just hideout. It was hearth, where boyish affection blurred into something deeper, unnamed but nurturing. Not lovers, but lifelines, society's taboo forging unbreakable bond. Alan's fame had severed it. Isolation is price. I forgive you, I said, the words freeing. But no more solos. We duet or bust. He squeezed back, weak but fierce. Deal. Write the score. Discharge came swift, PR spin as exhaustion, and we flew east together, Alan's arm slung over my shoulder at baggage claim, paparazzi flashing like faulty stars. Willow Creek welcomed subdued, Mom's hugs, Dad's gruff, glad you're both upright. Ethan waited at the dock, bare from the fair tucked underarm, smile breaking clouds. The four of us, twins and anchors, sat that sunset, beers cracked, water lapping gentle. Alan raised his bottle. To shame-faced, and stars shared. Laughter rippled, real as ripples. But redemption's road twists, and one final shadow loomed. The healing started slow, like a track warming under spring thaw. Alan extended his stay, canceled a press junket, blamed family time, in a tweet that trended Whitaker reunion. Mornings, we'd jog the creek trail, breaths sinking like old rhythms, dissecting scars, his panic attacks masked as method acting, my stage fright rooted in that smashed phone call, the disconnect that birthed a decade's drift. We were kids playing at secrets, he said one dawn, missed curling feet. Now, we're men owning them. Owning men exposure. Alan pitched the duet, co-write a song for his film's end credits, my lyrics, his voice, Ethan's garage band on backup. Skeptical, I demoed in the barn, loft rebuilt by Dad as surprise, hay bales fresh. The melody wove pain into power, verses of betrayals bite, chorus of bridges burned and rebuilt. Alan harmonized, our voices twinning eerie, identical timbre twisting harmony into haunting. Ethan watched from the ladder, eyes proud. That's a hit. And a half. Recording sessions bled into nights at O'Malley's, stage commandeered for open mic. First gig, nerves electric, Alan's hand clenching mine offstage. We've got this. The crowd hushed as we took the mic. Willow Creek faces, skeptical to soft. My solo verse trembled, but Alan's backup steadied. The chorus swelled, Ethan drumming fierce from the shadows. Applause crashed like waves. Mark in the corner clapping awkward, Jenny whooping loud. Post-set, strangers clapped backs. Didn't know you had it in you, Leo. Validation, bittersweet. Proof I wasn't eclipse. Ethan and I deepened roots. Sunday drives to the Adirondacks. Picnics on boulders overlooking valleys carved by glaciers, much like us. He'd sketch engines in a notebook, blueprints for a custom bike shop dream, while I pinned bridges for the song. Intimacy bloomed tender, shared silences on his porch, heads on shoulders, watching fireflies script the dark. "Love you," he said one night, words casual as coffee, profound as scripture. I echoed it back, chest full, first time unarmored. Alan's light dimmed not from burnout but balance. Therapy sessions via Zoom with a Beverly Hills shrink, calls to mom about recipes laced with "I love you's" unspoken before. Dad thawed slowest. Beers in the garage turning to talks of that time I benched you for mouthing off. Admissions of his own closet, coaching pressures from 80s machismo. "Proud of you boys," he grunted finally, over a rebuilt Fort tour. "Both." But fame's tether yanked. Midway through mixing, Rebecca called. "Alan, darling, the director wants a solo ballad. Too folksy with the twin angle." His face fell, phone hot in hand. "Tell him no. It's our story." Pushback escalated. Leaked demos online. Trolls dubbing it sob story sequel. Alan spiraled. Nights pacing. Bourbon his crutch. "They want the star, not the twin," he'd mutter. Phoenix tattoo itching like regret. The high tide of crisis crested at the county fair redux. Labor Day edition. Lights brighter, crowds thicker. Alan performed solo. Our song stripped to his timbre, the duet ghosted. Crowd ate it. Encores demanded. But backstage, his eyes met mine hollow. "It's better this way. Cleaner." Cleaner? The word ignited old fuses. Ethan sensed it, pulling me aside by the hayride cue. "Fight for it, Leo, or you'll regret the silence." His faith fueled me. I stormed the stage mid-encore, mic snatched. "This isn't yours alone." Silence stunned. Then I launched the full version, unplugged, raw, calling Alan up. He hesitated, spotlight harsh, then joined, voices merging seismic. The crowd erupted, but not all cheers. Mark's heckle pierced. "Freak show." Sparking murmurs. Security escorted him out, but the venom lingered, a reminder. Acceptance uneven, progress potholed. Alan and I finished strong, both shared, but post-show he collapsed. Panic full force, breaths ragged. Hospital again. This time Benadryl and breathing tubes. Mom keening in the ER wait. Diagnosis, not pills, but pressure's payload. Anxiety manifesting physical. "You need off-ramp," the doc said, chart crisp. Alan nodded, defeated. "I'm done chasing. Time to co-star in my own life." The fallout reshaped us. Alan sold his LA Pi de Terra, investing in Willow Creek, co-founding a youth arts center, scholarships for overlooked talents like Teen Me. Our song, released indie, climbing charts organic, reviews hailing authentic twin bond, no studio polish. Royalties split. I banked mine toward Ethan's shop, blueprints to brick. Yet the deepest scar scarred sweetest. The night of the doc, our romantic zenith. Alan and Mom hosted a launch party, backyard strings, lanterns glowing like captured stars. Ethan and I slipped away mid-toast. To the lake's edge, dock creaking welcome. Sunset bled gold into water, painting us in light. His head on my shoulder, arms encircled, hands woven. "This," he whispered, "is our constellation." We stayed till stars wheeled, talking futures. My album, his garage grand opening, a life laced with Leos and Ethans, no twins required. Alan found us later, silhouette soft. "Mind if I join?" No intrusion, just family. 3 souls, orbits aligned. Kisses traded under moon. Ethan's tender, Alan's fraternal peck on cheek, sealed the circle. No shame in shadows, only light in the shared. Months on, the center buzzed, kids strumming guitars, painting murals of Phoenix's rising tandem. Alan emceed a talent night, introducing me. My twin, my truth. I played the encore, Ethan drumming, crowd a sea of faces, once judgmental, now joined. Dad cornered me after, eyes misty. "You boys, you fix what I broke." Hug gruff, but real, legacy rewritten. As snow dusted Willow Creek that Christmas, Ethan and I hung lights on the dock, strings twinkling promise. Alan shoveled the walk, Mom's pies cooling sillside. Stars above, twins within, born to shine, not solo, but but synced. Shame-faced, we rose, not flawless, but whole. In America's heartland heart, loves the real American dream. Messy, mended, magnificently ours.